How's it going, Scrub Gamers? It's your boy Scrub Games coming at you with a juicy new piece of content for you to enjoy. But before we do get into the topic of the video, I just want to let you know how you can help support the channel, and that is by checking out Firestorm Games using my affiliate link in the description box below. Because Firestorm Games offer a whole host of products for almost every kind of hobby there is, be it Dragon Ball Super, Pokemon, One Piece, you name it, and they'll likely have it, and at some quality prices too. So just make sure to click the link below and check them out to see the whole host of products they offer while helping support the channel. And also, remember, there's another way to help out the channel, and that's by dropping a like, leaving a comment on the video, and best of all, hitting that subscribe button to keep up to date with my content when it drops. Because I'm still on the road to 1k subs, I'm looking to hit that by the year's end. But now we've got all that sorted, let's dive into the topic of the video. So, Scrub Gamers, as the title of the video suggests, this is our next episode of the previously in DBSCG series, where we go over the week's news in one juicy video at the end of the week, so you don't have to go about each day to day, you can get at the end. And we're continuing on with the reveals from the anniversary box. Plus, we got some reveals that we should have had ages ago, being like the third season of regional prizing. We didn't get shown that like we had it, so it was on the DBS website, where you can look at it and try and decipher it by like having to like really squint and trying to read what it said. And we didn't get until today after like people were getting the prize. Well, after this week, after people were getting the prizing to actually see what the cards do. So we got that to go over with, and then we've got I think literally everything for the anniversary box. Mainly, yeah, everything for it should be revealed now. So let's get into it. Before we do, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out greatly. And also, you can hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell to get alerts to when my videos do drop as well. So without further ado, let's check out what the rest of the anniversary box and see what we're expected to get from this interesting product. So starting off, we got the Z extras. So we get a Z extra for each color, and they have like a kind of theme. They're all mighty blasts from different points. And for red, it's the 10 times Kamehameha from SS4 Gogeta. So each color getting a red extra card, which you're guaranteed to get into the set. And this is one, I think they're all one cost and one Z energy Z extras. And they're all quite good for the color. So we got on this one, he's got 2 activate skills and 2 activate battles. The second one requiring red energy. And the first one is place one of your Z energy in your drop, then remove this card from the game. So you got up a second Z energy to place in the drop from your Z energy for this effect, and remove this card from the game, so we use it to lose it. And then the effect is choose up to one of your cards, it gets 15k power for the battle. So I know it says cards, so it could be a leader card, unison card, battle card, you name it. You can use it as offensively or defensively, and that's really good, especially for 1 energy. If you've got an energy to use up and you've got Z energy, this is a great way to get this out. Because remember, with Z extras, once they go on board, they're there until you get rid of them. So this could just sit there for like turn 1, turn 2, and then later again when you need to use it to get 50k boost from attack or even defensively, pop it off. That's really, really nice. Then you got the everyone activate battle for 1 red. If your leader is red, you place 3 of your Z energy in your drop, and you move this card from the game. So it's a little bit more costly. You got to pay at least 1 red, have a red leader, and place 3 Z energy in your drop. So it's not just sacking off 1, it's sacking off 3 this time, and you use it to lose it. But the payoff is you draw 1 card, then choose up to one of your cards, and it gets plus 15k power for the battle, so similar to the everyone, but now you're drawing. And also, then you get to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 25k power for the turn. So by paying extra energy and setting off 2 extra Z energy, and losing the card, you get to draw a card as well. Still get 15k power, but also now minus something by 25k. So that's pretty good. Like it's an upgrade, paying the extra energy and extra 2 energy. It's pretty decent. It's a nice generic one for red. Like I'm looking forward to getting these for the cube, just to add some Z deck stuff into cube drafting. But this is a very nice one generically. So far I'm not seeing a big reason to get one of these boxes, but some really good cards in there. But it's more that if you play a fair few decks that are supported by this anniversary box, feel free to get this product. But if you don't play any of the decks that get boosted, you might want to think about is it worth it, because the cost is a lot more than the previous ones, but the payoff is only really dependent if you play something that is supported by it. So that's the red one, and you get 1 for each color as I said. So we go on to the next one, being the blue one. This one is Black Kamehameha, Mighty Blast, so same costs in 1 energy and 1 Z energy. Same kind of skills, two activate battles, the second one requiring to pay 1 energy of the same colour as the card. So the first one is place one, use the energy in your drop and remove this card from the game. I think they've all, for the cost, they've all got the same cost for both effects. So it's always, for the first one, place 1 Z energy in your drop, then remove this card from the game. And for the second one, pay 1 energy of the same colour as the card. Your leader be the same colour as the card, and place 3 Z energy from your drop and remove this card from the game for the second one. So we'll kind of skip that for the next ones. We'll go over that. But the effect of the first one is choose up to one of your cards, it gets 10k power for the battle, so a little bit less power than the red one. But then you also get an extra effect of then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 2 or less and place it at the bottom of his opponent's deck. So you're getting less power from this, but then the red one is just power, being 15k power, but for a little bit less power on the blue one, you get 10k plus you get the bottom deck for 2 or less. So kind of like the Beerus Destroyers, you get that little bit of a boost, 10k plus you get bottom deck something 2 or less. That's really good, but you can have this offensively or defensively, unlike with the Beerus Destroyers one. So that's the first effect. And the second effect, after you pay 1 blue and pay the cost, you get the draw card, similar to the red one, but this one allows you to play means you play one shadow token, and the shadow tokens have 10k power, 0 combo cost, and 5k combo power, and it gains blocker for the turn. Then you get to choose one of your cards and give it 15k power for the battle. So you get the same thing, it's similar. So you get the same thing as you get the draw. You get 15k power to one of your cards for the battle, but instead of minus something by 25k, you get to play a token that gains blocker for the turn. So that's interesting, that's pretty good. But the only problem with blue decks really is they lack space in the Z deck, because blue has already been one of the colors that has one of the best selection of Z cards you can have in the Z deck, and the Z deck for blue is quite tight. So if you've got space for this, well done, you've got space for it. But it's going to be difficult to fit this in from most blue decks, really. But still a pretty good card. Then we'll move on to green. Now green's fine with getting a card like this, because green has a terrible selection of good generic green ones. Like, you got a few good green Z deck cards, but it's got one of the worst pools. I think it did have the only ever color pool that had a worse selection for the Z deck than green was black. But black's actually got a lot of good ones recently, like over the course since this Zenkai series started. But green has still been kind of struggling with their options. But now you're getting really nice the extra card for green. That's very generic, very good. So once again, the cost is the same for the first effect. Same cost for the cards, and then same cost for the activate battle. But the effect of the first activate battle is choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less and KO it. So popping, classic thing for green. Green is the color where it's removal for KOing. But then not only that, you also get to choose one of your cards and get 10k power for the battle. So same how we got blue, it gets a 10k power, but instead of getting the extra 5k power like red did, it's got an extra effect of KOing something 3 or less, and that's your player's turn. So that's very nice to use. Then the second one for the activate battle, so same kind of as I said about the costs. You get to choose, for the effect of it is you get to choose one of your opponent's, you choose one card from your opponent's hand and discard it, so you get a random card from your opponent's hand. That's pretty cool. Choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards when energy cost of 5 or less and KO it, so you get KO sync, but there's a level restriction on it. Then choose it to one of your cards and it gets 15k power for the battle. So that's cool. You don't get the draw like the other two, but you get a 15k power. But instead of drawing, you get a rich card out your opponent's hand, and it's not your opponent chooses and discards, it's you get to choose from hand and discard at random. And then you get the popping, so instead of draw, you discard, but a random discard, which is good. Still get the 15k power, and then the other effect is to pop like 5 or less. So that's really good. That's a really nice one. But then once again, green is a color where you can't be just willy-nilly spelling one green. You got to be careful with the energy, because it's a more vital resource than most other colors. So pretty good card, and it will probably make its way into most green Z decks, because they've got players. Well, they've got almost quite a lot of space for it, but I'm not sure how great it's going to be used. But it is a nice option for if you ever need it in the situations. So that is the green one. Let's go to the yellow. We've got the yellow one's a really nice one. So it's 20 times Kaioken Kamehameha Mighty Blast. As I said before, they're all Mighty Blasts, and they're all from different Kamehamehas as well. So this one's from the, I think the Saiyan Saga when he first uses it. I don't know, not sure. But then once again, same cost in playing the card from the Z deck, same cost for your activate battle, but the effect of the activate battle for this one, for the first one, is choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. Then choose up one of your cards and get 10k power for the battle. So once again, in line with its color. This one gets the resting because yellow is the more the control color, resting things switch into rest mode. So you get to switch into rest mode and then get a 10k power to one of your cards for the battle. So that's pretty good, really nice one. And then you've got the activate battle on this one. Once again, same kind of cost, just the energy and leader need to be the same color as the card. But for this effect, this one is you get to choose it to one of your cards. It gets 15k power for the battle. So you get the 15k. Then you choose one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons, ignore a barrier, and negate its skills for the turn. So that is basically just having on board a Vegeta's Final Flash that you can use on any of your opponent's battle cards or unisons ready on the board whenever you need to use them. That's really good. This is probably one of the stronger ones, just because the fact you still got the 15 power, so you out combo like Vegeta's Final Flash would, but then you can also minus the skills in your opponent's battle cards or unisons, which is really good. And it's always very available, and there's no really interaction with Z extras to remove them. I think there are cards that can potentially remove them, but they're like the Zeno Unison from set 10 if you do the -5. But this is really nice. Just now, you don't really need to put a Final Flash in your main deck. You can have in your side deck, Z deck, this card. Get this out because it's quite cheap to pull out. And then you've always got the Final Flash if you need it there to just minus like even ignoring barrier. That's really good. A very, very strong one. Very good one for yellow. And yellow, while has a pretty good like a Z deck options, it still has space. So this one could be a very nice just one of in any yellow deck really. Then it brings us to the last one of the black ones. So first Kamehameha Mighty Blast. This is from the childhood Goku from Dragon Ball, where he uses Kamehameha for the first time. Once again, same kind of costs to play the cards from the Z deck, but the only main difference on this is that both activate battles don't have a energy cost. So unlike the other ones for the second activate battle, they don't have an energy cost, or they have an energy cost of the same color as the card. This one doesn't have it, which is quite cool and quite interesting. So for the first battle, same cost as the other ones. Drop a Z energy from your Z energy, and then remove this card from the game. And the effect is to place up to 3 black cards from your warp in your drop. Then choose it to one of your cards and it gets 10k power to battle. So the sending place up to 3 black cards from your warp to your drop is really good for black decks, because black decks have a lot of it's like the color of Overrun, and they have a lot of decks that kind of do the whole soft milling, putting stuff back, and then overwhelming them. But not all decks really care too much about having 3 black cards put back, but some of them do, and you can get that for next to nothing, which is really cool. But it's like it's not amazing for every black deck, but some black decks can get a good benefit out of that. And remember, with all these Z extras as well, if you're going against yellow and you've been floodgated by Mecha, these are nice cards to have additionally in your battle area to basically rest so you can keep attacking with things. So do note for that. Then the second active battle, so still has the lead, it doesn't have the energy cost, but it still requires your leader to be black, and for you to place 3 of your Z energy in your drop and remove this card from the game. And the effect is you choose up to one of your cards, and it gets 10k power for the battle, so a little bit less power than the other ones get, but then there's no energy cost to it. And then you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 5 or less, and send it as warp. So it's really good for black decks. Now they can have this out ready to just get used to like a free 10k for either effect, and either put 3 black cards at the bottom of your from that warp to the drop, or warp sewing your opponent's stats 5 cost or less. Now having that on board, it's like near the beginning, means your opponent can never go all in on you with any battle card that's 5 or less that doesn't have barrier, because everyone's just going to get snapped out with this, which is really, really nice. So that's a really nice thing to give black decks that little bit of protection. And plus black decks, while they're getting better Z deck options over time, they still have space, so you can potentially put this in as well in your Z deck if you feel like there's nothing else you want to put in. So all these are really nice ones for their respective color, and really nice things to have given for generic Z extras. So that's the Z extra cards for the anniversary box. Then we move on to some other cards for the set. So we see the reprint. So that, if you didn't see, there are 5 reprints in the set, and you get 2 of each for a box. And there's 1 for each color. So we've got the red, blue, and green. So the red one was the Duran Legend of Universe 11, the old unison that was in from a previous anniversary box. So we got that reprinted. Not really a much needed red card that needs a reprint, but still a pretty decent one. Then we got SS Rose Goku Black, Mortals Be Gone. So this is a never anniversary box card that
is getting reprinted, but this one is again one that didn't need a reprint. It's not like one of those urgent blue deck cards that needed reprinting, but it is being reprinted. And I know well, the funny thing with this is that this is from the previous anniversary box before this one, because this is anniversary box 20. Oh, this is I think EX 22. I think it might be, or 23. Can't remember which one it is. But this literally came out in the previous anniversary box. So it's again like this is the only card I think that's been in two anniversary boxes back to back. Still a good card though, don't get me wrong, but it's not a blue card that you wouldn't want to like need a reprint. And then we got Defending Father Paragus as the green reprint. So the super combo has been reprinted a fair few times. It's printed out originally. You can get in foil, non-foil. Then it was done in the it was done in a TP, not a TP, in the Evolution Battle set, and then it got reprinted in a what's it? Not a Champ Pack, the Event Pack as well. And I think it's been reprinted again since then. But yeah, and oh yeah, it's reprinted in Judge set, so you could get a Judge level 1, 2, and 3 of it. And it's got another reprint now. Like, well, it's got a lot of reprints. It's still not too bad a reprint. It's one of the best super combo for green, so it's pretty good for that. While there are other green cards that probably need a reprint more than this, it's still not a bad reprint in my eyes. So those are the first three reprints. Then we go to the other two, and then we got the one for yellow and one for black. So for yellow, the reprint was with Retaliation Corner, which is not too bad because that is a very old anniversary box that really has. I think it might have had a reprint in an event pack. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might have. And what's not the yellow reprint, it's not like a card that was really needing of a reprint for yellow. It's still not too bad one, and the art looks pretty nice. Like the art for these cards is pretty cool. Like the art is really good, but some of the choices for reprint is quite questionable, but still a very good one. And even if it is reprinted in a event pack, it's still something that I think it's still. I'm not sure it's a costly card, but it's it's something that's played in almost every yellow deck. I think it's a very good counter. I'm not sure if it's like the yellow card that needs printing more over some other ones. Then for the black, we've got Supreme Player Time, Guardian of Space Time. Like I don't know, this seems like a really bad reprint. Like even though it's only had one printing in the starter deck, it's not been a card that has been hard to get or need a reprint or played a lot. Like it has been used for a fair few decks as tech cards for just extra combo power. But then I feel like there are probably ever some black cards that need reprinting instead of this one. But that's what we got. So these are nice reprints, nice art. Just is questionable about some of the choices for some of these ones when there's ever cards in their respective colors that need a reprint more. But that is that. And the next we have a look at secret rare. So in this set we get two secret rares. We get a reprint secret rare, and we get a secret rare specific key from the anniversary box. Now I think this is the first time we've got a secret rare exclusively for anniversary box, not exclusively for a product, but for anniversary box. And this is what we have. So the reprint is the SSB Vegeta. Like a lot of people, including myself, thought it would have been the SS4 Vermilion Saiyan secret rare, just because it's the only secret rare in the that's actually referenced on any cards in the set, and there is support for this deck. Is the deck like it really helps out the SS4 deck, the SS4 Bardock deck. So a lot of people, including myself, thought that might be the reprinted secret rare. So that way you can play that SS4 Bardock deck for very cheap as like a anniversary box deck. But instead of that one, we got the SSB Vegeta, which is still a pretty good secret rare. It's a very good secret rare. It's like one of the best red secret rare I feel at the moment, like best generic red secret rare. But it doesn't see too much play, but it's still a very good one. So if you're looking to play red, getting this anniversary box will get you access to the secret rare. It's very generic, very good for any red deck you might play. But it's not used as often, but it's still a very good generic choice. And then outside that, we have the secret rare from the deck. So the secret rare we have the anniversary box also comes with two arts as well. Has the normal art, which is in the middle, and on the right, as you can see, that is the alt art that you could potentially get if you're lucky when buying a box. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but you can actually get a box and get that secret rare. Not if you should get it with those or instead of the normal one. But that's the two arts. You've got the art of him holding it and the art of him throwing it. Or the art of him throwing it being the more premium one for the premium secret rare. But yeah, the effect. So this one is an 8 cost secret rare, 40k power. 1 cost 10k combo. Ultimate, so no deflect, right, bar or anything, just ultimate. So it's got no protection from coming down or when it hits the board. But it does have 2 skills. So the way to play it cheap is with his activate main. And that's by paying 3 energy. If you have 4 more energy as the cost, so you just need to be paying 3 energy once you hit 4 more energy. And the effect is play this card from your hand, then play up to 4 pan cards and or cards with GT in their character names, each with different card names, from among all the cards in your Z energy and drop with the skills you get for the game. So that's pretty nice. You get to pay 3 once you get to turn 4. Play this card from your hand and play up to 4 pan or cards with GT in their name. As long as they're like each card has a different name from your Z energy or drop with the skills you get for the game. To swarm your board out, and that's relevant because of the auto. The auto is when this card attacks. For each of your pan cards and cards with GT in their character names, this card gets 5k power for the battle. And then additionally, if this skill makes this card's power 7k or more, choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO them. Then deal 1 damage to your opponent. So that's quite cool. The only thing is that it just says for each of your pan and cards with GT in the character names, but it doesn't say from where. Like where, so we're going to have to remember with the whole Bandai logic of if it doesn't reference an area, it means on the battle area. So it means the battle area. So if essentially it gets 25k from this, but I think it can well, I think it's meant to be from your battle area. I think it's just cards you control. So if you got a GT leader, then that's going to be so they can go towards it. So a GT leader with itself and 4 areas you play has 25, or if you boost it beforehand, you get wait anyway to get 7k anything to boost it a bit more, or to get 7k power. This effect will trigger that, and it's a board wipe, ignoring barrier and dealing 1 damage. No restriction on the damage, just deal 1 damage. So if you get your opponent down to 1 and drop this, and then swing get 7k, you then get to finish off the game by that, which is pretty nice. So it's a nice generic secret rare, but it's not amazing because you can play it in really any deck. You just incorporate a couple of GT cards to actually play off its effect. But it's got no protection, and almost every deck, every color has really got an out to it to stop it from being able to do anything useful. So it's just a shame. It's not as strong a secret rare it could have been for the Anniversary box, but still it's a nice generic one, which is how it should be. But yeah, that's the secret rares. So let's move on to some of the other stuff. So then we got a look at these chat pack promos. So as I said, we saw from the Bandai website about the pricing for the 3rd season of regionals, and just like with the 2nd season, it is pretty lackluster. But, only a few cards is worth it, but then still it's not as especially when you have a season like the 1st season with amazing generic cards, like cards that are worth going in and make it basically getting value out of playing into events and getting these really strong cards and cards that are valuable. With the 2nd and 3rd season, they're a lot less, where it went from very good, very strong generic cards for each color. They went to more archetype, deck focused cards. Unless you play that deck, you're not going to play that card for it, or it's not worth it. And we got the same thing for season 3. So we got the first of the 3 for the champ packs. Remember, for champ pack promos, there's 1 for each color. And for the red one, it's a support card for the Universe Free deck, which is basically just a rip off of the Realder deck. And it is a 1-drop 4k Pepperoni Universe Free intellectual strategy. It's got 2 activate mains, both limit 1, the second one costing 1 red. So the first activate main is if you have 2 or more red Universe Free cards in your energy, and you add this card to your Z energy, so that's got to be from the board. Play up to 1 red Universe Free card with energy cost of 1 from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So you got to play this out, and if you've got 2 or more red Universe Free cards in your energy, and you put this in your Z energy, you get to play a 1-drop Universe Free card from your deck. I don't know if that's amazing. That doesn't seem great. But then we got the activate main, limit 1 for 1 red energy. If your leader is a red Universe Free card and you have 4 more energy, so once again, everyone wait for turn 4, and you choose one of your red Culture battle cards and place it under this card as the cost. You draw a card, play it to 1 red, analyze the card from your hand on top of this card in active mode, and that card gains double strike for the turn. So you can play an analyzer from your hand on top of this card. Inactive, so if you've attacked with this first, or yeah, because it doesn't say place this card under it, and place it under this card. So you don't have to Kawachi it. It doesn't seem great. This is a pretty bad card. Like, well, it's for a bad archetype as well. Like, what this deck does is essentially the same as the real deck, but the Rildo's actually got stuff with the whole machine mutant stuff from before, with like baby and stuff it can incorporate with it. It's a lot more interesting. But this just doesn't seem that great. Then we have the blue one, being support for the new blue baby deck, the more aggro blue baby with servants and stuff. So this is baby vengeful golden life form. 8 cost 35k. Deflect double strike, and you play out by his activate main, limit 1 for 2 blue. If your opponent has 3 or more energy and you have a universal toughlization plan in your battle area, you play this card from your hand. So, very easy, but it's got the whole requirement of your opponent has to have 3 or more energy, which is not a great thing. It's better for you to have a energy requirement than your opponent, but just means you don't get the playlist until your turn 4 if you're going first, or your turn 3 if you're going second. Then it's also when this card is played, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of his owner's deck. Then choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards when she goes to 4 or less, ignoring barrier, and place it at the bottom of his owner's deck. So that's not too bad. Let's get the removal of 2 things. Anything ignoring barrier. No, anything not ignoring barrier, so anything that doesn't have barrier. And then you get a hit, something 4 or less that does have barrier to bottom deck. So you can hit either anything with any cost or anything 4 or less. But then the 4 or less can go through barrier, which is pretty good. This even then for 2 energy on 35k double striker, it has deflect as well, is pretty tasty. So that's a pretty good card for that deck. Then we have the one for green being a card for to support the Green King Piccolo deck in the form of Drum, Evil Henchman. So it's a 2 cost 10k. Permanent where if your leader is a Green King Piccolo or Piccolo Jr. card and it's your turn, your Green Demon Clan cards will entry cost a 2 game barrier. So you got this out during your turn. You've in that deck, your little 2 cost guy is barrier, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice to have. It has also got an auto, which is that costs 1 green. When this card is played, add up to 1 green King Piccolo and she costs a 1 to your hand and shuffle your deck. Doesn't say where, so there's another card that needs a rattle where they don't check it before printing or anything like that. Bandai have no proper QA of their game. They just basically just print it and hope for the best. But with this, it's cause where it says shuffle your deck, it's just going to be assumed no magic. I think it's been mentioned before as well. It basically searches for your deck for the card. That's why it says shuffle your deck after. So you can add a King Piccolo card, and she goes a 1 from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Not too bad. I don't know how that great this is for the deck, but it seems interesting. It's never Demon Clan card for the deck, so it could be decent. But then it's not like massively popular deck. So yeah, not compared to some of the generic stuff we got in season 1. So that's those 3. Let's go on to the other 2. So the yellow one and the black one. So we've got for the yellow one, Margin Boo, Innocent Destruction. So support like a card to support the yellow Margin Boo deck. It's an 8 cost 30k, 1 cost 10k combo. There's triple strike and a permanent where if your leader is a yellow Margin card and it's your opponent's turn, reduce the combo this card in your hand by 1. So that's pretty nice. You get has it as a free combo defensively, which is pretty cool in that deck. That's actually pretty nice for it because I think it's got effects as well that where you discard a Boo, and then if it boosts it by 10k or more or something like that, you get to get a special effect, which is pretty nice. But there's also got an auto, which is limit 1. If it's your turn, as the cost, so it's only during your turn, limit 1 as well. When this card in your hand is discarded by a skill of your leader or a yellow Majin Buu card in your battle area, your leader gains the following skill until the end of your opponent's turn, and that skill is auto once per turn. When your yellow Majin card is placed in by a skill, or it is played by a skill, this card gets back a combo power for the turn. So you can give your leader a bit of a boost for the turn as soon as you play a Never Boo. That's not too bad. I don't know if that's great for the deck, but I know the permanent reducing the combo cost of this card, but in your hand during your opponent's turn to have a defensive free 10k is pretty nice. Not sure about the rest, but also is a target to bring out with triple strike and 30k, so it's not too bad. This is a pretty nice card for the deck. Generic for the yellow, not good. Then we got the one for black, and this one is a combo extreme offense. 7 cost 15k, 0 cost 5k combo, and it's played out move its activate main by limit 1 for 1 black if your leader is black and you have a Fu card in play it from your hand. Normally when you out the camp combo off, it comes out in tandem with Fu, because they're both joined together as part of like a little team for the decks. And then it's got two autos. First one is when this card is played, you draw one, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gains 7 until the end of your opponent's turn. That's quite nice because it keeps it locked down until that way they don't get during the next standby phase. It doesn't. Well, yeah, next standby phase or charge phase, whatever. I can't remember what it's called exactly. You get they don't get restand it because it's got a servant, which is pretty nice. And you also get a draw card, and in the Cumber deck as well, you get to, if you've got the Fu out with Overlord, you can like Overlord off the card you gave Servant, which is pretty nice. And then the second auto is more for the Cumber deck, because if your leader is Black Cumber, it's the cost. When this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's cards with Servant skill and use it in a combo with this card. So that's pretty cool. So you get, when your card attacks, if your leader is Cumber, you get to choose one of your opponent's cards with Servant and combo it and use it as a combo. And then they did the same thing when they did the pre-release Yellow Goku BR. They had like a demo at one of the cons. Once again they just don't check the cards, because they've got Servant in red on the first auto, but when they have the same thing for the second auto, they've got it with brackets instead, which just don't check. They don't like queue anything before printing, which is just makes it look so bad for like this huge company to have all these like silly little errors that they don't just check before them for like this such a big company, and just makes it look like they don't know what they're doing, which is kind of the like consensus with Bandai really for their games and stuff. But still, nothing generically great about these promos. Like if you play any of these decks, sure you can get support, but generically for most people, if they don't play them, it's just not great promos compared to the first season. Then we've got some of the Z extra cards as well. You get some Z extra cards and prizings. These are brand new cards as part of the regional prizing. So the first one being the final confrontation, the red one, being 1 cost and 1 Z energy. Also, when your red Son Goku with entry cost of 8 is removed from the battle area from your opponent's skill, play up to 1 Golden Frieza and Android 17, determine attack defense. You drop with a marker on it and then remove this card from the game. So it's support for the red U7 Goku. And the second also at the end of your turn, choose up to one of your mono red Universe 7 cards and switch to active mode, and that card gains block until the end of your opponent's turn. So that's pretty cool. You can choose any of your mono red Universe 7 cards, which is active mode, and then it gets blocker. So you can use it to defend yourself a little bit better. And then it's also got a nice little auto activate main that actually helps out with the actual deck. Being limit 1, if your leader is Son Goku Supreme Warrior, which is the leader for the U7 Goku deck, and you have 4 more energy, you can reduce the skill cost of activate main on Son Goku Ultra Mastery in your hand by 1 red for the turn. So you turn the Z cost, well, the cost for the summoning of the Goku 8 drop from 4 to 3 when you get to turn 4. That's pretty good. It saves you extra energy to have something else to kind of defend yourself or whoever plays. So that's a really nice effect. So that's a pretty good one for that deck. So if you play that deck, that's a very good card to pick up for it, because it's a nice extra one, nice card for your Z deck, and pretty good for if you want to try and use the 8-drop Goku as kind of the way to win. Then we got the blue one. So blue one is for the red ribbon, blue red ribbon deck, which was always a terrible deck before, just dead on arrival deck. It's a 1 cost Z extra card that requires to use the energy. Permanent, if your leader is a red ribbon robot card, you have 3 more energy and it's your turn. Your blue red ribbon army cards gain 5k power, so a power boost. Once you're at turn 3 on your turn, not too bad. And then you got also at the end of your turn, you may place all of your red ribbon army cards in your drop. If you don't place any cards in your drop, you move this card from the game. So if you want to keep this on board, you have to keep sacking off all your red ribbon army cards in your drop. And if you didn't place any at all, then you move this card from the game, so you lose it. I don't know if that's great. I don't even know what the deck does, but I know it's not great. Then you got the activate main limit 1 for 1 blue. Place 1 card in your hand on the top of your deck. Play up to 1 blue red commander red, which costs a 2 from your hand. So that's a really bad effect. You're putting a card from your hand on top of your deck to then play another card that's not great from your hand, and a specific one being a blue commander red, which costs a 2. That's not great. That's negging your hand more in this terrible deck. That's just I just hate certain archetypes or stuff, or certain themes from Dragon Ball, which is really bad. Well, that's the blue one. You got the green one, a Gourmet Battles. This is one for the yellow, well, no, sorry, the green Champa and Beerus one from set 16. The ones that start off with a low life total to begin with. So it's a one cost Z extra requires 1 Z energy. Also, you can activate this green. You can activate your green Beerus or Champa card's awakening even if your life is 4 or less. So I think that's supposed to be 4 to turn. When it comes down, you can activate your Awaken, which you can do death straight away for Beerus, but not for Champa because he starts at. I think he starts at 5 because their life total was the total number of fighters to add for their battle for their tournament. They activate main. They got 2 activate skills, both limit 1. First one, activate main, and this one is the cost is to choose one of your mono green Universe 7 or Universe 6 cards and KO it. But the effect of this card is a little bit different because it doesn't read white. It reads like an auto, but it's an activate main. So it reads as when your opponent discards 1 card from hand, but it's not when your opponent discards 1 card. Is your opponent discards 1 card from hand, and then you remove this card from the game at the end of the turn. So that's pretty cool. It's another way to trigger your effects of what you want the cards to do, which is KOing having your cards KO'd so that they can bring out like bigger cards from your hand. Of like a stronger cards from your hand, like bigger, like going up a chain by KO themselves. You didn't have too much of that, like being able to do that. You had to rely on your opponent attacking into your stuff because your stuff got a benefit if they had no battle cards on board and if and stuff like that. So and you wanted stuff on their board to swing into the fill up the alt win condition. This is a nice one to bring out to make sure you can go into your chain a little bit easier with this deck. That's pretty cool. Then you got the Activate Battle, which is limit 1. If your leader is a green Beerus or Champa card and you remove this card from the game, choose up to one of your non-God Universe 7 or Universe 6 battle cards. It gets 10k power and barrier until the end of your opponent's turn. So that's not too bad. You get to give one of your cards 10k power and barrier until the end of your opponent's next turn. That's pretty decent. Barrier for a bit of protection, but you're mainly going to be using the first activate main to actually trigger that if you want to use this, and also using the auto to awaken at higher life total and have to go down to 2 or 3 that they do. So not too bad, but it's not this support doesn't really help the deck too much, but it's still a nice card given it anyway. Then we've got the yellow one being energy absorption for the yellow Super 17 deck. There's another one that's 1 cost, 1 Z energy. Also limit 1, Spirit Boost 1 when your yellow Super 17 battle card attacks. The attacking card gets 6k power. I imagine that's for the turn. And then switch this card to active mode at the end of the turn. So imagine 6k is just for the turn, and then you switch that card to active mode at the end of the turn, which is to use it as a blocker or just keep it from being attacked into. Not too bad. And then activate main, limit 1 for 1 yellow. With this card from the game, play up to 1 yellow Android 17 card with original energy cost of 1 from your hand or drop. Then play up to 1 Android 20 and Dr. Mew Hellish Accomplices from your hand with 1 marker on it. So you're playing a 1-drop Android 17 from your hand or drop, so that's not too bad if you play it from your drop. And then you get to play the Unison from your hand. I don't know how great that is, but it doesn't seem that great, especially when you're coming down to 2 specified cost Unison down for 1 marker, and it doesn't plus by 2 markers, only 1 marker. It's not great. It's never pretty terrible. Just as bad as the blue one, really. Then the last one being probably the best one out of all of them, which is Body and Soul 10 times Kamehameha. 1 cost, 1 Z energy card, and this is support for the Black Goku Zeno lead, which is already a pretty good one, but it gets a nice bit of Z extra support. So it's got the auto. If your leader is a Son Goku Zeno only card and you discard 1 card from your hand, when this card is placed in the battle area, add up to 2 cards from your life to your hand, so help you awaken quicker if you need be. Then add to 1 non-super combo Son Goku Zeno card from your drop or up to your hand. So that's cool. You play it out. I'll take you up to 2 cards from your life, and then grab back a Goku Zeno from your drop or your warp. That's really good. Then you have auto once per turn. When a card from your warp is placed in your drop area by your opponent's Zeno only card leader skill, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards set to your zone's warp. So once it's on board, every time you use the leader's effect, it just puts cards back from your warp to your drop, so you can do more overrun. Like you have more cards to do overrun with. You get to have it as removal as well, which is really nice. And then you got like a really nice push one, being the activate battle. Burst 2, remove this card from the game as a cost. Choose it to one of your Sun Goes no cards, and it gets 5k power and critical for the turn. And considering you can leader can get double strike, that's really good. Double strike crit pressure plus a 5k boost as well. And it's for the turn, so you could even use this defensively to gain a 5k for free for the turn if you really do need it. If your opponent's gone wide, you just survive through it. That's pretty nice. This is a really good card. This is how you like. This is an example of how you do really good support for a deck to actually give it something that's actually useful compared to the other ones here. So this is probably the best one out of all of them, and a really nice bit of support for a previous deck. Then we got some more cards as well to show. So we got the winner all arts for the set. So for the last one, we had two terrible invoke. I think it was two terrible invoker cards, being the Android 17 MVP, the card that got errated because Bandai didn't know what they were doing and didn't errata it properly like do with any card in this game. And then the free drop Vegeta that hasn't seen play for sets and sets or even years in the Invoker deck as prizes, and then the redeeming one being the Mecha Freezer winner art. And the same can kind of be said for this. You've got these three as the winner arts for this one, so a lot better than the last lot. Mecha Freezer was a very good one, but the other two were trash. This one actually has a decent one. Now, what Almighty Resistance isn't a popular one or one that's used as consistently, it's still not too bad. It is not a great choice, but it's not too bad of one. I say that as a Vegito player, but still for red decks that want to incorporate a little bit of yellow in there to go that little bit using the super combo and stuff like that, it's still a good thing for red decks. Bean has had a few reprints now. It had the reprint with the in the Mythic Booster with really nice art. It had a reprint in the one of the first few one of the I think one of the first anniversary box or anniversary box, a different art in that form as well. And Bean's been reprinted enough in a few arts, but it's still not too bad to get a new Bean. But we still I've had two other alt arts in foil as well, Icicle ones. But then we got another one there, more just Goku. But nothing really beats the Mythic Booster art for Senzu Bean, to be honest. And then one nice one we do get from this one, probably the best one out of them, is we get a foil version of the SSB Vegeta Surmounting the Impossible. Now this is a card that was one you can just get from your locals. It's a promo, didn't come in foil, and now you can get in a foil art if you want to be like a bit of magpie and foil out your deck and make it as highest rarity as possible. So that's quite a nice one. So that's one of the benefits out of this, is getting that. So that's the three you get. And I think if you make top 16, you get one of these, I think. Or top 8. Top 16 and top 8, one of them. And if you make top 4, I think it is, you get a playset of them. You get a playset of the ones which are quite nice. And that brings us to the last bit of the news, and that is the gold leader from this set of regionals. And for this one is the Vegito one. So it's weird how they've done how they've chosen the ones for this. Like they chose the SS3 Goku one, which is a pretty good one because it's popular. It's Goku. He's a popular character for Dragon Ball. He's like the main character for Dragon Ball. It's a popular one for collectors and stuff as a prize. Then they went for another Goku one, but doing the Invoker one, an old terrible leader that hasn't been relevant or great in ages, like quite a skillless deck. And they had the gold leader for this. And then they went for Vegito, which why do you love Vegito? Wasn't a great choice. Like I don't think Vegito's a massively popular character, and the leader isn't that great. That's why they had to get Z. They had to get Z support just to make it actually playable. And yeah, because even if you play this, you're not gonna have it. You're not going to be using that often because as early as turn 2, you're going to be flipping this over to the side anyway, and then you're just going to be slamming down that Z leader on top of it, so you not even get to enjoy having this leader as your leader, because then you're going to be just slapping a Z leader on it. So there's no choice. The other ones you're not always, well, you could slap a Z leader on them, but it's not going to be your go-to thing just as you play the game. Whereas this one, your go-to way to play the game is slapping a Z leader on this, meaning you don't really get to enjoy this. So I would like to try and win one. I'm not going to see much. I'm not really going to get much use of it other than the first 2 turns of the game going, this is my nice new leader, and that's it. So an odd choice. Hopefully with the next slot they actually have some better choices. They did start off good, but then they started going downhill with the second 2. Like Panda did a weird thing where they just set up. Well, they got us all engaged and of course hyped for regionals with the first season of prizing. but then they tanked it by having just very niche, non-generic stuff for the second and third one. After making the first one very generic and very very good, it just went downhill with the second one and third one. And then that combined with the whole Fusion World announcements kind of led to the game kind of being like let people are less hyped for the game competitively, and it's just dropping just 'cause of these weird decisions. But yeah, still a good game, and that is all the news we've got this week from Bandai from the Facebook page. So that's it. So thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.